I'm just going to ask you just two little questions, like for an icebreaker, just to get into the meat of things. And the first question is, if you were to come out of retirement to run one race, either the 100 or the 200, which would it be?
I'll say the 100 meters.
Why?
With them giving me about a 60-meter head start.
Okay, good. That's good. I thought that it would have been the 100 too. If a sponsor was to pay you some big money to do a sport outside of track and field, which sport would it be?
Soccer.
Soccer?
Yes, easy.
Okay, cool. All right, the next one now is a little creepy. If you're to eat one of the following to survive, which would it be? A snake, a frog, or a rat?
Snake.
A snake. Okay.
Actually,
Okay.
I never meet, so.
Okay, just so to get into things now, tell me a little bit about Kerron as a little girl and starting track and field.
I'll say my sister,
Mm-hmm.
because she would chase me everywhere.
Okay.
Everything was, as far as running goes, was a competition. So if we had to go to the supermarket, it was a race to go. So I would say her. But how I got into track as a young girl, I remember I went to John Mills, and
You went to where?
John Mills.
Okay. Oh, you went to John Mills. Okay.
Yes, and the teacher, she was registering me, and she was like, "What sport can you do?" And out of nowhere, I said netball. And I don't know.
Oh, so you're a netball fan?
Yes, I'm a netball fan, but not
Okay.
a good player. And she was like, "What about track?" And I was like, "Okay, fine, I'll try." And never forget this. Coach took me to Hero Circle, and I won the 100, and he was like, "Let's try the 400." And I did the 400, and I won. I beat everybody who was training. I was not training, just fresh.
So you're a natural. You're a natural track person. You're naturally talented.
I would somewhat. I wouldn't say I am. It's more my discipline than the talent that I have. I would say it's my discipline and my work ethic, and I don't like to lose. So I think those combination, but I wouldn't consider myself a super talented person.
So was that how you got into, you went to St. Jago, right?
Yes. After John Mills, I went to St. Jago.
So you actually, did you compete at Boys and Girls Champs, or you migrated before?
No, I finished high school in Jamaica, so I compete at.
Tell me about your champs career. Who was your main rival?
Oh my gosh, now you're making me tell my age. That's been a while. There's so many. I remember
Kerron, you were
Lisa
just on the
Shire.
World Junior Team 2002. It could not have been
my
a while.
goodness.
Young.
I'd say Lisa Sharp, Simone Facey, Nadine Palmer. Yeah, those girls, I would say, were some of my biggest competitions in high school.
So you competed from class 4 all the way up to class 1?
No, class 3.
Class 3, okay. Because many track and field fans back in Jamaica thought that you migrated early because I think when you came back in 2002 for the World Juniors and you were on that super gold medal team, many thought that you finished high school overseas, not remembering that you were a part of St. Jago's dynamic team.
Oh yeah, St. Jago, yeah, I was there. No, I finished high school in Jamaica, and then I got a scholarship to Essex County College, and then from there to Auburn.
Right. Let us segue into Auburn. You were a star girl at Auburn University. Tell us a little bit about that.
Something like that. When you think
You're,
about the history,
you're so humble.
I mean, a lot of people have accomplished what I have accomplished, and when you get to the age where you know that, hey, this is God given, it's not about you, but about what God is able to do for you, then you learn to be humble. But
What was it? Okay,
no,
sorry.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
just to answer the question, Auburn tradition is so rich when you think about people like Juliet Campbell, Vanette Dixon, great Elva Goldburn. So I had some really big shoe to fill in terms of going to Auburn, but it was such a great experience. I met some people who I'm still friends with, mentor, my coaches. They're one of those people who are very vital, plays a very vital part of my life even to this day. People like Coach Rosen. So Auburn did a lot for me.
What was the culture like in terms of, I know that Jamaica has a rich heritage or legacy at universities like Auburn, Texas, Arkansas. What was it like for you competing against other Jamaicans that would have been at some of these top universities?
It was fun. It was like champs all over again.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just like champs. And when you think about the SEC, the SEC conference is so competitive. So it just reminded me so much of champs. You know, that whole atmosphere, that competitive um, feel that you would expect when you're in the SEC. Like if you win the SEC conference, it's a possibility that you could win at the NCAA. So SEC, hats off to the SEC conference because it has been going strong for a very long time and still going strong, even getting stronger.
Great, great. What area did you concentrate on in university? Was it to go back into sport or it was independent of sports?
I did education and sports. I knew I always wanted to be a coach, and I didn't even choose it. I just kind of was led to do it because I had a minor in sports coaching and my bachelor's in education.
Wow. What was the workload like? I mean, I know that the NCAA system it is very rigid because it is actually going on right now. The finals are going on right now, and the Jamaican athletes are doing well. Wayne Pinnock won the long jump, and of course, the 100-meter will be run later on, so we will get to see that. But what was it like for you trying to balance your academics and still remaining competitive in order to maintain your scholarship?
Honestly, it's not a cakewalk. It's not a cakewalk. It truly tests your ability to balance, schoolwork and academic. Some nights I remember I was up late studying, and I have to wake up early in the morning to get to class, and then after class it's straight to practice. I remember sometimes I show up at practice early and just get a 30 minutes nap before practice, but it really shapes you and help you to get ready for the real world. And once you go through this college system, it kind of really helps you a whole lot. And I'm so happy I made the decision to take the college route because it helped me to mature a lot.
At any time, did you feel like you want to give up on one of them and just concentrate on the other, giving up sport, concentrating on academics?
I thought about it, but my motivation was I need both because track and field got me the scholarship as well as my education. So if I got rid of education, I would be in serious trouble, and if I got rid of athletics, I would
So
be
in
in
other
serious
words,
trouble
they
as
they
well.
go they go hand
Hand
in hand.
hand in hand, hand in hand. Because if you don't make the grades, you can't compete, and if you're not fulfilling your end of the bargain, then you won't have a scholarship. So it goes hand in hand. And it can be done. It can be done. A lot of athletes have done it. So
Yes.
you know that it can be done, but it's just going to take time. It's hard. And you have to find what works best for you.
Your international career started at the Carifta Games. you basically have competed for Jamaica at every level. When I was looking, I mean, I watched you growing up competing from champs. I discovered you at girls champs, and I watch you on the NCAA circuit, and I watch you at the national level, and you've won the national championship. You've been at the Olympics a few times, world championships 5 times, world relays, world youth, world junior, CAC games.
Wow.
Listen, you have done it all for Jamaica. Tell me a little bit about all of that and moving from one level to the other. What was it like making all these different teams?
Wow, that just made me emotional just now. It's so crazy when you think you haven't accomplished much, but then people remind you of the things that you accomplished, because sometimes you accomplish these things and you just put them behind you and you
I'm going
keep
to stop you a little
going.
bit there. I think you are Aileen's twin. When I read Aileen accolades to her, she said the very same thing. She said, "Oh my God, now that you are telling me all of this, I realize that I have accomplished a lot."
Wow.
Continue.
Oh my goodness. So competing at every single level did something for me, because I remember I made my first Carifta Games team and I wasn't selected. I came second in both events and I wasn't selected.
Tell me
But
about that.
I it did a lot for me. It didn't deter me and it didn't break my spirit. It actually helped me, because I made up in my mind that I am going to be on every single Carifta team there is.
So let's go back to that a little bit. Do you have any idea why you weren't selected as a second place finisher at the trials?
Honestly, if I was in the position of the selecting committee, I would have done the same thing, because the athlete who they chose, she was proven. She was proven.
But did
She was
she,
one of, yes, she was one of the best at the time, and honestly, I was okay with that decision because I
but
know
to
that
back up a
it was
little bit,
better.
Kerron, but did she finish in the
No,
1-2 at the
she
trials?
had no, she had an injury, so she had
Oh,
the excuse not to compete.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so I
So she was
understood their
exempted
decision.
from the
Yes,
trials.
yes,
Okay,
and
okay.
honestly, she would have won.
You would have won. Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to tell me who that athlete is? Do you want to share?
No.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. That's
I
okay.
mean, there is no animosity, but I rather not.
That's okay.
I know how our people go.
I know, I know, I know, I understand. I know. And that's fine. But you have done so much for your career that it is remarkable. You have created history with the Jamaican team at the 2008 Olympics. Jamaica is the only country to clean sweep the podium in the 100 meter. America came very close in 1988 with Flo, Gwen Torrance and Evelyn Ashford, but they managed to get 1, 2, and I think fourth. So they did not clean sweep. But in 2008, we went into Beijing with a bang. You won the national trials. Shelly-Ann was second.
Yes,
Sharon
sure, I
Simpson
did.
was third. And Veronica, who is Miss Dependable, she finished
Mm-hmm.
fourth.
Or
So she was not able to run in the 100 meter. Tell me a little bit about how you felt.
just to backtrack a bit, I remember that feeling that I had when I wasn't selected for the Carifta team, and I had a similar feeling in 2007. In 2007, I made the World Championship team, and this was just so clear and vivid. Like, I never forget this. I heard my national anthem once, and in 2008, I heard my national anthem so many times.
Yes.
But that year, it was just a change for us. Like, Jamaica have been putting in the work, putting in the work, putting in the work, coming in close, but never really cemented ourselves on top. And that was just a breakout year. And Jamaica just never looked back since then.
That's true. We still have not looked back, especially as it relates to the women. Hearing you spoke about the national anthem, hearing the national anthem playing 2008 for that medal ceremony for the 100 and seeing 3 Jamaican flags on that thing going up while the anthem was playing. How did you feel being a part of that history?
I don't really like to use the word amazing outside of describing God, because only Him is truly amazing. But I remember when we crossed that line, we already knew who the winner was. We just couldn't figure out who was second or third or second and second. And only thing I saw on the screen was amazing. Amazing. And just being on the podium with all 3 of us being on the podium, that was never something I ever dreamed of. I never thought that would happen. And when that happened, I think I was still in shock. Like, I remember coming home on the flight and I was like, did I really do that? Like, was I really on the podium? Like, all the hard work, it really happened. Like, this actually happened. So it was truly a special moment. Will always be a special moment. And I think if I had won the gold medal that year, a lot of people would forget, but nobody forgot that 1-2-2 is always a topic of discussion. That 1-2-2.
It is. It is, and it has always been a part of my discussion, that 1-2-2. I mean, it was amazing, but you have a brilliant, flawless top end speed, Kerron. I don't know if you have gone back and watched some of your videos. You can be left behind and find your way on the podium coming from behind. Were you ever a quarter miler or anything like that, a 400 runner?
Yes, when I remember Mills, I did this weird combination. Even when I first started high school, it was this combination, the 100 and the 400.
It is weird.
Yes, it was never the 200. So Malaine actually got hurt one year at champs, and that's how my coach changed me to run the 1-2, because it was always 1-4. But I think my top end speed, it was more of a determination thing. I didn't care if I got out the blocks last place, average start, good start. I just believed that the race is not over until I got to that line. And it's the same thing 2008 when I looked up and I just saw that glimmering yellow flashing light going down the track, which it happens to be Chilean. I was like, it's not over. I still have to cross this line. I still have a chance. So I think that's where my top end speed really, it is more a sheer determination. Like, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. The same thing 2009. When I saw how far ahead Shellyan was, I was like, I can catch her. I can catch her. I can catch her. That
yes, that 1-2, that 1-2 in Berlin.
Yes, that was a special moment as well. So close.
Going back to Beijing a little, I'm going to touch on something. That 4x1 relay, we had the team we were the team to beat in 2008. We had all 3 women from the 100 meter on the podium. We had Veronica, who repeated her 200 meter running 21.74. So we had the 4 top women in the world, but the baton did not get past the 3rd leg. Talk to me about that. I know it's very emotional because you were right there, but just kind of take me back a little bit.
it it's painful. It was painful because I know what we're capable of, and it's something that the world really didn't get a chance to see. Honestly, it's almost like I'm still not conscious of what happened. I just know that I got out and then the baton just wasn't in my hand. And I was like, oh my goodness. That was some painful stuff. It was truly, truly painful. And
It
I
was.
questioned if I questioned if I ever wanted to run on any more relay team.
Oh,
But
wow.
I think they figured out the right leg for me, and then everything
Yes.
changed.
Yes. The dominance of the Jamaican team, especially our women, continue to do great things. You're a part of a legacy that was started from 1948 with people like Herb
Wow.
McKinley, George Roden, Merlene Ottey, Juliet Cuthbert, Jackie Pusey, all of those people. You have built on
Donna
that
Barry.
legacy. And Jamaica continues to be a nightmare for the rest of the world, especially our women. You adding to that legacy. How do you feel being Jamaican? Can you imagine not being Jamaican?
No, I honestly I can't. I can't. No, I don't even know how to break that down. Not being Jamaican. No,
Let
I
us look at let us look at one event. Let us look at the 100 meters for men and women. We've had 5 Olympics since the start of the 21st century: 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016, 2020. And on the men's side, the US has won 1 title. Jamaica has won 3 with Usain Bolt, and Italy has won 1, which is the one recently. Now, when you look at the women, 5 Olympic titles, 5, and Belarus won in 2004, and
oh yeah.
Jamaica has won all the others since. Tell me, how do you feel about the rich history of our women's track and field with Kerron Stewart being a part of that history? And again, we clean sweep the podium. So we're the only country to clean sweep the podium, not only once, but twice in the women's 100 meter at the highest level, the Olympics. Talk to me, Kerron.
I feel proud to be Jamaican, honestly, and it just reminds me if I ever lack motivation, I just look at our country and say, we are capable of so much. If it's smarts, we have it. I mean, if it's badness, we have it. We are just a special people. I don't know any other way to put it. We're just special. Thank God we
Indeed.
throw a little bit more special stuff to make we are the sweetest people, the coolest people, whatever you think of Jamaica. Like, is just such a beautiful nation, a beautiful people. I couldn't imagine being anything else other than a Jamaican.
I totally agree with you. And going back to us as a country, do you think as a country we've recognized what we have and we're capitalizing on the success of you guys in terms of our infrastructure development, in terms of place to have events or training facility? Do you think that as a country we are capitalizing on what you guys have done?
Uh, based on everything, I would say no. And who are the people who are going to get this stuff done? Um, I'm not sure, but there is so much that we could have capitalized on, so much. And I've heard, coaches express the same sentiments over and over again. Even the athletes express the same sentiments over and over again. With the amount that we have accomplished in this sport, like we have to start doing something. We have to start capitalizing on those things, because it's not gonna last forever. It won't. And if we don't start doing the necessary things to preserve the talent that we have, we're gonna start losing. We're gonna start losing some athletes, and they might not want to go, but they might have no choice.
I'm sure you've heard by now that we've lost the World Juniors 4 by 100-meter record that was set at the Carifta Games in Kingston, Jamaica. In Kingston, Jamaica. Kerron, as an athlete, I want you to talk to me about this accomplishment, because I'm not sure if we realize what we've lost. Jamaica has lost a big part of its history and its legacy. This world record was set in Jamaica, so it is a big thing. Not a lot of countries around the world can boast that they have a world record was set on their soil. Yeah. 2 schools history, a part of their history has been erased. Edwin Allen, Heidel. 3 homes have lost a part of their history and their legacy. Brianna's home, the Clayton twins' home, and Serena Cole's home. Talk to me as an athlete. How would you get past this kind of thing?
It's hard, but I just want them to stay focused on the fact that they can do it again. They can do it again. They're capable of doing it again, but that is not something that you can predict, and they have put in so much hard work into something as simple as that, just messed up what they have worked so hard for. That is just disappointing. That is very, very disappointing, to be honest. And at that age, I'm sure they didn't know that, hey, everybody have to be drug tested. But the managers, somebody should have known that this is a protocol that has to be done. And one thing I can say, at every championship, whenever we broke the national record, if it's one person, Shelly Ann is always remembering, hey, everybody has to do drug tests or else we won't get the record. So I'm just heartbroken for them. When I saw it, I was like, this is just so disappointing. And it's disappointing because it's something that didn't have to happen.
Indeed. So let us segue into Kerron's retirement and your top job. And again, congrats on your achievement. But before we get to your big job, tell me a little bit about your retirement. What has it been like for you not have to get up and go to training early or do all this rigor? Just tell us a little bit about retirement.
It's been going good. At first, it was a bit attached to, I was used to the routine, and now it was different. I didn't have the same routine, so it took a little while to adjust to that. But as far as the training, I don't miss it. Honestly, the only thing I miss is the competition. Like when I see these girls running, I'm like, I get so nervous. I'm like, I wanna compete. But the good thing is, I don't have any regrets. I don't have any desire to go back into competition. In fact, I remember when I was working in Finland, they invite me to one of the meet to, do a camp, and they invited me to compete, and I was like, you know what, why not? So how many months not training, I went out there and I ran, I think in 8, and everybody was like, you should go back, and I was like, I didn't get that feeling, I didn't get that push. There was just nothing there. I just felt like, okay, I've done enough. It's done. I'm empty. As far as being a competitor goes, I'm empty.
And you would know.
No,
You would
I
know.
didn't. Oh yeah, you know, you know. I feel like I did everything that I could do, and because I'm such a mental athlete, eh, and mentally, I just wasn't there. Physically, yes, I could go train, I could work out, but I got to that point where when I'm tired, that's it, I'm done. And you know, being an athlete, you have to be able to push past that. And I realized, nope,
Yes.
I just wasn't there anymore. The passion to help the younger kids or help another athlete just correct something, that was passion. That's what, you know, like I got that fire from. So I know I was done.
And that's where you are now. You're the head coach at, is it Spire Institute?
Yes, Spire Institute and Academy.
Right. And you're the head coach. So you're in charge of the sprints, the hurdles, and
Hurdles,
middle distance. How did
middle
Kerron
distance.
Stewart get from
Four
sprinting to,
eight, 4.8, not the middle full middle distances and like
okay, it's
cross
eight.
country
Okay. Tell us,
and all.
did
Just
you see
four eight.
did you see this job coming? Tell us a little bit about this job.
I wouldn't say that. Okay, I was thinking about this job. I always just want to coach, and I want to be in the best environment, the best situation to be the best coach that I can be, and I felt like Aspire is the right place to help me to do that, and just everything that they stands for is the same thing. Some of the same things that I stand for, what I value is the same thing that they value, and you know just how important developing our younger athletes is. You know those stuff, and I was like, wow, this is just the right place for me, I believe.
So will you be you're the head coach for track and field. So will you be the main person that will be writing these programs for all three disciplines, or you will have help with, experts in different areas to help?
Yes, I will be writing like this sprint program, hurdles, and also some of the program for the 800-meter guys, especially if they go beyond 800-meter. Charlie Powell, who has been an icon in this sport forever, he is also here and he assists. So definitely he helps out as well. So I I will be getting tremendous help. And when you get a chance to be around a person like Charlie Powell, who have so much experience and success in the sport, truly just going to be a sponge.
How disciplined are your athletes? Were you a disciplined athlete when you were you disciplined when you were actually an athlete? And I'll tell you why I asked. I remember in Alien's interview, she was like, oh my God, I want to apologize to all my coaches because I did not know that as an athlete I was given so much trouble. Are your athletes disciplined? Do they listen to their instructions, or you have to be running behind them to get them to settle down and listen?
Oh my gosh, we're talking about college kids, and now I will get to work with high school kids. It's different, but you know the ones that are disciplined and they're serious about what they're doing. But I remember some days when I was coaching college, I was like, I really need to call my coach and apologize. And it's not the fact that I wasn't disciplined. I was very disciplined, but it's sometimes how much you have to repeat something. I'm like, man, I need to apologize to my coach because I thought he was just um, crazy or just a perfectionist, but no. I've been blessed, honestly, to have some really disciplined student athletes who just work. They listen and they work. Yes, we have our moments, but I've been truly blessed thus far. Keep knocking on wood.
I'm happy to hear that because I said I would ask you that question because I remember, Aileen, she was saying the same thing that, oh my God, I was so indisciplined, and now that I'm coaching, I realize, what my coach was going through at the time. But um, history, your thoughts on as a coach, our collegiate and our male program is, I would say they're asleep right now. As a coach, what are some of the things that you think we could do in Jamaica in order to resurrect our collegiate program and our male program?
I just think we're being too hard on the guys, honestly. But of course, women are just naturally more disciplined.
More discipline.
We'll yes, and we'll stick to a routine. We we like to have things laid out. Just tell us what we need to do and we'll do it. But with guys, they need more nurturing. They need more care, and sometimes they don't get that. But of course, sometimes they need that tough love and that discipline um, as well. But I think we just need to give them a bit of time, and it's not only just about the coaches. These guys have to realize that, hey, this is my career. It is not your coach, it's yours. So you have to make that investment in saying, listen, I have to do everything that I can to be successful and to put myself in a position to be successful. um, the other thing is, sometimes they just give up too easily. They don't trust the process. Sometimes it's gonna take probably years for you to break through, right? And sometimes you just have to get to that point where you have to say, you know what, I have to do what's best for me. Maybe I have to find another coach, I have to find more support, whatever it is. Sometimes we just give up too easy and not trust the process, because this is a process. Like I always tell kids when they ask about my Olympics success, and I'm like, this didn't happen in 4 years. It didn't happen in 4 years. I've been working at this since I was about 10 or 12 years old. That's how long I've been working at it. And every decision that was made for me and every decision that I made led me to the Olympics. So this didn't happen in 4 years. That's why development is so important, and that's why I believe so
I
much
agree.
in development, because that's where it starts. You have to develop them. If we don't develop these athletes and then just put them out there on such a big stage, what you expect? It's hard. We act as if life is not hard. It's hard mentally. So because we are athletes, it's supposed to be different. No, we have to deal with things that normal people deal with and still have to show up and compete as if nothing is happening. And we just have to be patient with our athletes, and they have to take the responsibility for themselves as well.
As a coach that is in charge of, you're in charge, you're the boss, do you have to have different coaching strategies for your girls and for your boys, or for your men and your women, or it's basically the same thing?
Everybody is different. It's crazy. Um, I mean, people might look coaching and say, "Oh, it's easy." It's not. Just imagine. Um, I sympathize so much, especially for college coaches. When you think about one coach, 30 athletes or 20 athletes, that's difficult for you to try to say, "Hey, I'm going to try to know every person individually." That's hard, but your approach to each athlete gotta be, it will be different because we're all different. you know Women, sometimes you just have to reassure them, and guys, you pretty much just gotta pump them up. Right? They love that type of stuff. But once you know your team and you have an understanding, of what pushes them, what motivates them, what some athletes you can be hard on them, some you can't. You can't, because you're gonna lose them. But most importantly, it's about relationship, and just helping them, just reassure them, let them know that, hey, I care about you as a person, not just as an athlete. And you're I am God put you in my path for me to help you as much as I can so you can move forward. That is first and foremost. My job is to help you as best as I can, to show you and to help you to know that you can do whatever you set your mind to, right? I need to help you to maximize your full potential. That's first and foremost my job as a coach.
So, as a coach, does your athletes, if they're having a bad day, do they come to you for mental reassurance, emotional? How do you put everything into a package if somebody's having a meltdown? What are some of the things that you have to do in order to get them to refocus?
It's crazy how, honestly, as athletes, not all of us are expressive. And this is something that I learned from my coach when, just being around him, even when I was in college. You have to use your eyes a lot. You have to be able sometime to read their body language. And as an athlete, a former athlete, like, some things I caught real quick. Like, I know that look when they're nervous, like, I can tell. And some days they will come and their attitude, they just lash out on you. And sometimes I have to just take them aside and say, listen, whatever is going on right now, you need to talk to me about it, or you need to put that aside and focus on why you're here right now in this moment. But what we are not going to do, you're not going to disrespect me, you're not going to disrespect your team, and you're not going to disrespect yourself, first and foremost. Sometimes, yeah, that work. And sometimes I will say, hey, coach, I'm nervous. And quite frankly, I love when they tell me, hey, coach, I'm nervous. Sometimes they will come to my office and they will talk to me. And I pretty much ask them, okay, why do you feel this way? Why are you nervous? And I try to do the best that I can to just calm them down. But I have been doing good so far in being able to just spot it when I realize that they're nervous or when they're just having a bad day. And I always allow them to say whatever they're feeling. I have to share this. I remember I had one athlete, and I always tell him, say what's on your mind, because I am not a mind reader, and I rather you say what's on your mind than having me trying to figure out what's wrong with you. And he said, coach, this is stupid. Now, I was like, I had to take a step back, and I was like, I said, okay. I was like, Kerron, this is not about you or your feelings right now. This is about this young man. And I said to him, okay, why is it stupid? And he said, because I don't understand. And I was like, okay, it challenges you, so it's stupid, right? And the moment that I did that, our relationship completely changed. I allow him to express himself, but he never crossed that line of being disrespectful. But I always let him know that you can express whatever you're feeling in a respectful way. So now, as an adult, or even when he goes out in the world, he's gonna know that, okay, I can express myself, but there is a time and a place and how I express myself. Instead of saying, hey, I don't want to hear that, you're a child, I am an adult, you're the athlete, I'm the coach. No, even if they say, I have athletes who say, coach, I don't like this workout. So guess what? That challenges me now to say, listen, this is why you're doing this workout. I'm not giving you this workout for you to run fast today. I'm giving you this workout so you can run fast when it counts. And sometimes we just gotta step back and just remind ourselves that this is not about us. And I'm still learning that. But I realize it's easier when I do that. so they don't feel like, okay, I'm just forcing them to do something, but we
Right,
are
right.
in this together. They are teaching me, and I am teaching them. It's a two-way street. It's never a one-way street.
It's
And
a partnership, you
I
know,
can,
and yeah. Mhm.
yes. And that's how my coach dealt with me throughout my entire career. So credit to him, because I learned those things because he did for me. Like, I could always communicate with him. I could always give him my input, like, because he always tell me, you know your body better than I do. So why should I think that my workout is just the greatest when you know your body better than me? You just have to explain to me why you want to do this, why you think it works for you. And once you can do those things, I'm going to listen. I'm not going to say that I'm going to change my entire workout, but I have to listen.
Beautiful, beautiful. Going back to Auburn a little bit, I was doing some reading on you, and you were a cream of the crop. In 2007, you won the SEC Runner-Up of the Year. You captured the NCAA 60 meters, 200 meters, you know, All-American for 7 times, Kerron. You know, you were one of the best athlete in the school's history. You know, you had a a matter of fact, in 2007, you also won the Honda Sport Award as the nation's best female collegiate athlete. You know, you have really done a lot for Jamaica. You made us proud. You have done so much. Tell me about those awards. When you hear your name being called and this is being said about you, just tell me a little bit about that.
Uh, like as I said before, like, these are not things like I just walk around thinking about every day. Honestly, uh, a reporter like a couple of days ago told me that I have 29 medals between Curfton
Yes.
international medals, and I
Mm-hmm.
said, "Wow, I had no idea. I had no idea." And I think that's how it should be sometimes. When you're working to build not not necessarily a legacy for yourself, but when you're working to build a legacy that will help others, you don't really focus on the stuff that you accomplish, but how what you accomplish can help others. But it's it's a good feeling, because sometimes you get hard on yourself and you get lost, not
Yes.
knowing how much you were able to do, and not even know how much you were able to do, but it just reminds you of how blessed you are.
Indeed, indeed. This year is just going back to Jamaica a little bit. This year is a world championship year. As you know, our women are doing well. What are you looking forward to this season with everything that's going on with the Jamaicans? As far as I'm concerned,
Scream.
it is Jamaica versus the world. The Jamaican ladies versus Shakari versus Asha Smith, Kambunji, all those females.